Yeah. I mean, as long as you're humble with other people, people will, gravitate to you regardless. So,
Yeah,
what can you
yeah.
say?
I'm a people person.
Hmm. But at the end of the day, though, numbers don't lie either. Regardless if you
Mhm.
have haters or not, you make plays on these things. Like Row One's their most streamed on Spotify, and
Mhm.
that kind of leads me to think, okay, like, do you smoke weed on your own, or is that like a certain chapter of your life or something, or no?
It was definitely a chapter of my life, and it's just like for me, it was always used in a form of medicinal purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when my dad died, it was like the one thing that could get me to sleep. So I'm like a firm believer in it, like being a medicine. Um, and I've always been like that, just because like I've seen it help people, and I've always been like in support of it. Like, do you? I've never seen someone be too crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
the most is they fall asleep, eat too much, or laugh, and it's like whatever. Like, like I said, like how I said earlier at concerts, like if someone's doing something, that's them. I'm me. You can only control what your circumstances are around you, and
Yeah.
yeah, like I think that everybody should just do whatever they're gonna do.
Very true. I tell people
So
all the
like,
time, like, if smoking weed isn't a problem, as long as you take care of business at the end of the day.
mm-hmm,
I don't smoke as much as I used to, but, I just
most
know,
definitely.
yeah, I know I'm not productive when I smoke, so that's why, I rarely smoke now. But,
Yeah, no. I think it just all depends on the person, and also I just feel like there's a mental thing that comes with like people who are smoking as an escape and people who are smoking as like it to heal. And so like there's a very like fine line, and it's very difficult to draw. Like I said, it's not mine at all to draw for other people, but I definitely can see people abusing it for sure, and putting them, making them lazy or putting them in a bad situation. But I can also see it helping people.
mhm.
So I'm just kind of like, you know,
Yeah, no, I feel you on
peace and
that.
love.
Yeah. But, I don't, this may be like a little deep part of this interview, only because I do want to salute you and thank you for making that video about your father that passed away.
Yeah.
It's very odd to me. Still, wow, the irony of that name. Yeah, but it's very odd to me to really say this because, I don't really speak on it in interviews. I try to keep my personal life out of it, even though I talk about it still.
Uh-huh.
My dad actually passed away last year, and
Mm-hmm.
his birthday is actually the day you released that video.
The
Uh,
night, my dad's birthday.
your dad's birthday is April 9th?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing as my dad. Yeah.
My dad was born on April 9th and he died on April 9th.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a kick-ass way to go.
Yeah. Shit.
I think he did it like, not he did it, but I think it was like that for a reason. Some people mourn their parents' birthday, the day that they died, and Father's or Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I just have a one hard, really hard day, and Father's Day. Of course, holidays and all that kind of stuff hurts, but um, yeah, like I said in my video, I was in a very dark place for a really dark time, for a really long time, like a really dark place. And I pulled myself out of it after a while, and I didn't think I was going to get through it, and it was really, really hard, but I came out on the other side of it because I knew I had to. Because if you think about it, like you lose a mom, you lose a dad, you lose a brother, a sister, whoever. Of course, they aren't going to want you to suffer. Of course, they aren't going to want you to be miserable. But it's like up to you. Like, are you just going to give up and just be, completely miserable, or are you just going to keep it pushing and do something that's going to make that person proud? And it took me a really, really long time to figure out what I was going to do, but I felt like I was in autopilot. Like, I got through school, which was insane. Like, my dad had literally died, and then I had finals next week. It was insane. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that I was able to pass my classes, like, I remember that semester thinking, like, dude, if I could get through this moment, like, I could get through anything. Because this is, like, the hardest thing is for me to fucking look at a book and act like I cared in that moment. And all I was thinking about is, like, my dad died.
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't matter what anybody had to say. he's better in this. Like nothing like anything anybody had to say. I was like I hated it. I was like, bullshit. Like I'm not better. It's not going to heal with time. You know, I won't survive. Like I just was always like I had such a negative mindset because I was in pain. You know, like, and once the time passed, it wasn't that I wasn't in pain, but I had become stronger, and I had realized a lot of times I'm like, damn, I'll never know what my dad would have thought about whatever this, you know, about me graduating. I'll never know what my dad would have thought about me having an album. I'll never know what my dad would have thought about this specific music video, or me performing at the Forum in front of 10,000 people. And so I used to like tell myself those things, right? And I get myself so sad and in like this depression. And then I realized I do know what my dad would say. Like I do know how he would react. I do know what he would tell me when I'm being dumb or when I'm being irresponsible or when, you know, I have an attitude. I do know what he would say. And I didn't think I did because I was like, I only had 19 years of my life. But this is where it gets really crazy in my healing process. I coached a team of cheerleaders for a nonprofit in a really low income area for kids that just didn't have anything, right? Mm-hmm. And I made these kids like my family. Like I just really took care of them, helped them day in, day out. And long story short, one day, one of them asked me about my mom and then my dad. And they said, well, what does your dad do for whatever, something? And I explained to them my dad passed away. And I got a little teary-eyed. And at that moment, I'm like, okay, guys, let's get in line. And one of the little girls comes up to me after and she goes, Coach Amanda, don't be sad. She's like, at least you got to meet your daddy. My daddy died before I was born. And at that moment, like I literally remember like this 12-year-old child telling me this and me thinking like, how selfish am I? You know, to be sitting up here and crying and saying I only had 19 years. You know, and some people don't even have one. Some people just don't even have like a dad in their life. Mm-hmm. You know, some people are orphans and they don't have anything. And some people, you know, can't walk, can't see. Like people have bigger problems. You know, and I'm not saying my pain is any less important, but like when I started shifting myself from all the things that were wrong to all the things that were great, like the healing process became a lot better because like I realized like I was loved and I did have a great dad and he gave me a lot of advice and he raised me to be really a great person and you know he really unconditionally loved me. And so I found comfort in that as I got older, grew up, was tired of being miserable. It's like you can only be miserable and feel sorry for yourself for so long. The world goes on. The world keeps moving. You feel like your world's over, and it's just you walk outside and everything's the same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very true.
Death is dark, but it's just part of life.
Exactly. You know
one person can be dying inside because of one death, and everybody else is like oblivious to it.
Yeah, very true. I mean, as for myself, you know, I lost like pretty much everything at once. You know, like I